Hey, I'm sorry, Carter. I recently just was reading a bunch of posts and stuff on Facebook, and since I've dealt with the situation, I've been in one of the situations that everyone's talking about. I'd like to bring awareness to abuse. It's not just physical. You can mentally abuse someone, talking down to them, calling them ugly, fat. It's like bullying. But I was in a marriage where my husband was not only physically, emotionally, and sexually abusive towards me, but for whatever reason I blocked it all out and said, no, he's a good guy. I looked at all the good parts of him, the memory of what he once was. And that's the problem with it. Abused women usually bypass the fact of the way they are, because when they first met that man or that woman, who knows, they were so good. I can look back to when me and my ex-husband, were together in the beginning, and he was great. So smart and funny and sweet and kind, and he treated me so well. And I kept blocking that out because he was a good person. Then when I got pregnant, he completely changed. And once we got married, he went off the deep end, to say the least. The first time he ever hit me, I thought, oh, that was probably my fault. I should have never sent him to that breaking point. There was this one day we were having a party, and I'd gone out and I'd smoked weed, and what person hasn't done wrong like that? He got really mad at me, and he broke down the door in our apartment. While people are there telling him to calm down, that I needed to calm down, I needed to go to the room because he yelled at me for it, and I wanted to calm down, He broke it down, and he blocked up the door, and started dragging me by my hair. My friends bust down the door and stop him. And that night's just so vivid, because that was the first time I realized I gotta get away from this man before he kills me. I didn't go away from him because my daughter was in Houston, and his parents had a hold of him. And I took my daughter and put her over there because we were going to lose her if we didn't, because him nor I could pass a drug test. He was getting out of the army. He was being forced out because of him dragging me by my hair and stuff like that, and the police being called, and him beating me. And I had told them later on that he didn't do it. No, I was fine. In that moment, I was. Right after they got there. Because by that time, I had calmed down. He had tried to calm me down, and I just didn't want to press charges on someone that I once loved, I guess. And then we got to Houston, and it got really bad. I remember this one night, his family had all gone out. They had all gone out, and they had made me, and David and I were home alone. And he beat me. He beat me until I couldn't move. Then he raped me. Just didn't stop, didn't care about my screaming, and told me to be a good little slut. And that night was the night I decided that I'm going to start packing stuff into the car. Hopefully he doesn't notice. But one day, I had just gotten my paycheck from work. I was working. He wanted my paycheck for his stupid fucking car, man. He loved that car more than he loved me or my daughter. And he didn't even know what he was doing on that thing. That night he tried to kill me. I ran over his foot, and I stopped told him I was sorry. And I drove all the way back home to El Paso. And he asked me to come back. And even though my daughter was there, I couldn't. Because I knew that if I was to go back, he was going to kill me. He was really going to kill me. And I don't think any abused person realizes until it's almost too late, or it's too late. Because they want so bad for that person to be who they once were, and they see the good in everybody. And it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't. It makes you show that you have heart. And that's the segment for today. Just remember, the warning signs are aggression. You feel like everything's your fault. And remember that he isn't who you once met. That sums it up. Okay? Thanks. If you see someone who's being abused, help them. Offer to let them stay for a week. Offer to let them stay for a day. Offer to show them happiness. Because you never know. They might be dead. I almost was. Thanks. Remember, if they're suicidal and their relationship's going to turmoil and they aren't telling you why, it might be because he's beating her, or him. He's being beat by her. Y'all have a blessed day, and remember, be aware.